In 2007, Western Australia defied national trends and actually recorded a small swing to the coalition. Of the 15 WA-based seats in the lower house, Labor holds only 5. One issue that's worrying many Western Australians is what will happen if the mining tax causes even a minor slowdown in the resources sector. That's making politicians in Perth's marginal seats nervous, especially those in electorates with small buffers of around 1%, such as Hasluck, held by Labor, and Stirling, held by the Liberals. Late Line's Hamish Fitzsimmons has been out and about in the two seats.
The hub of the mining boom. There are few electorates in WA not affected directly or indirectly by the resources sector. Seats like Stirling in Perth's inner north, a mix of expensive coastal properties to less salubrious areas further inland. It's changed hands 7 times since its creation, and since 2004 it's been held by the Liberals' Michael Keenan. And even though it's a suburban seat, the resources sector, and any new tax on it, is a big issue.
Western Australia is a mining state, and if you attack mining, then you're attacking the prosperity of Western Australia.
Labor's candidate for Stirling, Louise Durack, declined several requests for an interview, a Labor official saying there were no undecided voters in Stirling watching Lateline. Ms Durack was chosen for the seat by Labor's head office.
We actually met during the state campaign.
Okay. Having previously failed to hold a Labor marginal seat in another area in the 2008 state election, suffering a 6% swing against her. Despite enlisting one of Labor's greats, Ms Durack's campaign this time hasn't been helped with the distribution of election pamphlets featuring Kevin Rudd. Despite having a large migrant population, a key issue for many Stirling voters is boat people.
About the immigrants and those things, normally we don't like the people coming on board.
Michael Keenan says many of his constituents who are new migrants oppose boat arrivals for the simple fact that most of them had to wait for resettlement to Australia.
People here support the humanitarian program. In fact, they're very supportive of it, but they're supportive of it being run in an orderly way and in a way that's actually specifically run by the Australian government as opposed to being outsourced to people smugglers, which is what's happening at the moment.
South of Stirling, Hasluck takes in the vineyards of the Swan Valley, as well as Perth Airport, the main railway lines and the highways north, through which the machinery and muscle for the mining boom runs. Here, infrastructure is the key.
Everything that comes in from the north or goes out, everything that comes in from the east and goes out comes through my electorate. And so we need that kind of investment desperately in our roads and in our airports to make that as efficient as possible.
Labor's Sharon Jackson knows the rough and tumble of marginal seats well. The former Labor Party staffer lost the geographically and economically diverse seat in 2004, only to win it back 3 years later.
I've got both the Swan River and the Canning River in my electorate. Most people who live in Perth describe themselves as either north of the river people or south of the river people. Well, I've got both.
The Liberal candidate for Hasluck, Kent Wyatt, is one of 3 Indigenous Australians running for the seat. He's related to the state Labor member Ben Wyatt, and Ken Wyatt's choice of parties surprised many.
If I go back to my youth, I used to be innovative, enterprising. I liked the freedom of making income. It also is a party that gives you opportunity and it looks after the economic well-being of Australia.
Again, boat people is an issue in this another area with a big migrant population.
Not everybody can come in, that's normal. So my opinion is that Australia is the best. The best way to decide who to be allowed to come in, who not allowed to come in.
I don't really know which party I'm going to vote for at the moment, but I'm not looking at the person, I'm looking at the policies.
The Gillard government is confident it's fixed the problems caused by its proposed mining profits tax, but here in Western Australia the issue still looms large, and many aren't about to let voters forget this state's prosperity depends on the strength of its resources sector.
Even if there is a slowdown in mining development and mining investment, that even hits the taxi driver and the common man on the street, so you get this economic downturn.
Political observers say in the end how the West is won may make little difference to the outcome of the federal poll.
You're not going to see a massive change in the number of seats in Western Australia. The most, say, Labor would pick up would be 2. The most the Liberals could pick up is probably 1 if we count them as holding Swan already. I'd be surprised if there's a massive change.
Hamish Fitzsimmons, Lateline.